All right. How are you doing? I'm good. I hope you're keeping warm. Okay. So last class we stopped at, we finished review B. So today I'm going to give you a little bit more to complete the review, right? This classwork is just reviews. And just to remind you, review A was drawing the linear PPF, review B was calculating opportunity cost, and review C here is something a little bit more than you have seen in principles. Okay. We are going to be working on the Ricardian model. We will see two industries in one country, right? So we will deal with two countries. One will be the home country and the other will be the foreign country. And in each country will be two industries. In this particular case, we have two goods, right? So bottles and sneakers. So the industry for bottles and the industry for sneakers in each country. So for example, let's take this as hopefully you can see my screen, right? Let's take this as the home country. Oops, that's too big. Let's take this as the home country, and we have the foreign country. Okay. In the home country, there are two industries. In the foreign country, there are two industries. Okay. One of the industries produce sneakers and the other produce bottles. One of the industries in foreign, sneakers, and the other bottles. Do you see that? Okay, good. So this is what I'm talking about. All right. Now, we are going to assume that wages are equalized across the two industries in each country. Okay. What does it mean when we make that assumption? Or how would this assumption of equalized wages hold? Some of you already know this. It's the free movement of labor. If labor can freely move, then wages will be equalized across industries. So under A, free movement of labor. Again, more on this as we work through the chapter, right? You'll see it very soon. We can write an equation to represent the equality of wages across the bottles and the sneakers industry. Wages, I have that information for you up here. Now I'm going to change my color to blue so I can underline it. Hopefully you are looking at the slide, right? You're looking at the video and not just listening to it like a podcast. Wage in the bottle industry is equal to PB times marginal product of labor in bottles. Changing to a different color in green, wage in the sneaker or sneakers industry is PS times marginal product of labor, S. So the way we are going to write that, exactly what you're thinking about. PB times marginal product of labor, B, equals PS times marginal product of labor in S, like that. Yes, very simply like that. Very simply like that. Now I'm asking you to do a little bit of math. This is where some of my students just lose faith, but trust me, it's just a little bit of math. we are going to take the equation we have written in B and we are going to rearrange it so that on the left-hand side we have the relative price of sneakers, and on the right-hand side we will have the opportunity cost of sneakers. What? Yeah. How would we write relative price of sneakers? That is written as PS over PB. So you're going to try and get PS over PB on the left hand side. Okay, so why don't I just do that for us right here? And shall I do that? Let me do that in blue so it's a little different from everything we have written here. Okay, so this is item C. We have PB times marginal product. Can I get a thinner looking? No, I can't. Okay, well, equals PS times marginal product of labor. Yes, like this. We are trying to get relative price of sneakers on the left hand side. And I told you relative price of sneakers is PS over PB, right? So how are you going to do that? Well, you're going to divide through by PB. You see? And to get PS over PB standing alone, we are going to divide again through by marginal product of labor in sneakers. You know what? Let me do this step by step so I don't confuse you. Okay, so I'm using an arrow just because I have an equal to sign and I don't want to mess things up. So we are going to cancel through. I'm going to use black to cancel through so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so we have MPLB, marginal products of labor in bottles, equals PS over PB, which is relative price of sneakers times marginal product of labor in sneakers. Okay, from here you can easily see that I need to divide through by marginal product of labor in sneakers. Okay, so why don't I just do that? I don't need to change color anymore. Marginal product of labor in sneakers, marginal product of labor in sneakers. And in black, I'm going to cancel out that one and I'm going to rewrite it using an arrow. I have PS over PB on the left hand side equal to marginal product of labor in bottles over marginal product of labor in sneakers. I kid you not. This, let's change to green. Let's use that. That's not green. Let's change to green. Come on. Okay. All right. So that is relative price of sneakers and that. Take a careful look at that. What is that? Well, it's opportunity cost of sneakers. What is opportunity cost of sneakers? Bottles lost over sneakers, right? Do you see that? Okay. So that is item C. Now item D states that assuming we put bottles, now guys, I updated this question in D. I added this sentence here to make life a little easy for you. Assuming we put bottles on the y-axis and sneakers on the x-axis, the opportunity cost of sneakers is the slope of the PPF where which good is on which axis. This is where sneakers is on the x-axis. My previous class I used snowboards, so from time to time I'm going to say snowboards. I'm sorry, I mean sneakers, okay? Let me draw that for us. We have here bottles on the y-axis, sneakers on the x-axis, and we will have this kind of this linear that's not very linear. We have a linear ppf like this. The slope of a linear line, right? Slope is change in the item on the y-axis over change in the item on the x-axis. This is basically change in bottles over change in sneakers, right? Change in bottles over change in sneakers. Whatever number is up here divided by whatever number is here on the sneaker axis. Now, opportunity cost of sneakers, change color and use blue. Opportunity cost of sneakers right is equal to bottles lost over sneakers gain. Change in bottles over change in. Do you see that? So the change is change in B, change in slope of the ppf. Right. Let me just write that again. Slope of ppf, where sneakers is on the x-axis. Because if you look at opportunity cost of sneakers, isn't that the same thing? Right. Isn't that the same thing? Do you see that? Good. Okay. So what is the answer? The opportunity cost of sneakers is the slope of the ppf where sneakers is on the x-axis. This is just a little trick to remember about just a little trick to remember about how you want to be thinking about these things and the patterns that you have to see when you're working through this. It's just another way to check your work, so that whilst you're going through your work, you know, hey, the slope of the ppf should just be, or opportunity cost is just the slope of the ppf where sneakers is on the x-axis. Right, so opportunity cost of sneakers, slope of the ppf where sneakers is on the x-axis. Nifty to know. Okay, I made mention of relative price. I want to give you a little bit of background on relative price. This is going to help you understand when we start working through relative prices. Maybe this is a video you come back to refresh your memory, but it's going to help you to see why I write the things the way I'm writing them, right? So let us jump into that. By the way, as you watch this video, if you have questions, you can't interrupt me to tell me now because we are not in the class together, but of course you can send me an email, and also you can ask me in class, okay? So let's work a little bit on relative prices and what they mean. Relative prices, you're literally just going to take the ratio of two prices. Okay, and then what does it mean? It is very much connected to the relationship we've just found between relative prices and opportunity costs. So let's take a look at this same thing in another way. Let's say that a bushel of wheat is $3 per bushel. A bushel is the container that's used to measure, right? The measurement cup, for example, or the measuring cup, similar to a measuring cup, right? A bushel of wheat is $3 per bushel, and 1 yard of cloth is $6 per yard. Now, we write the relative price of wheat as PW over PC. W for wheat, C for cloth. So that would be that $3, right? Divided by $6, so 1/2. But what does this 1/2 mean? In various books, they will just write this PW over PC equals to half, and they are going to expect you know what it means. Now, let's look into that a little bit more. Relative price of wheat. Written as PW over PC. And let me write that W properly. That way people are not forgetting, because you don't have me in class right in front of you here to ask, okay, what is that? Right, so PW over PC is equal to 1/2. What is this? I told you earlier that this $3, this is really $3 per bushel. And that $6 is really $6 per yard. Now, $3 per bushel. That is typically written as this $3. The per is that bushel, right? And then this big division sign divided by $6 per yard. Okay, we know a bit of math, so we can write this as, well, that's $3 per bushel times yard over $6. You can already see how this is going to cancel out. Well, it's going to cancel out in this interesting way. We are going to move the 6 to be under the 3 now. So we have $3 over $6. I haven't done anything crazy yet. Yard over bushel. Okay, squint at it and see why I have it like that. Now, the dollar sign cancels out. 3 goes into 6 2 times, so we have half times yard per bushel. What is this? This is half yard given up per bushel gained. What does that sound like to you? Half yard given up per bushel gained. What does that remind you of? Half yard given up per bushel gained. That should remind you of the opportunity cost of wheat. Opportunity cost of wheat, by definition, right? By definition is yards of cloth given up or lost over bushel of wheat gained. And how we write that with marginal product is this marginal product of labor in cloth over marginal product of labor in wheat. And we are saying that is relative price of wheat. This is exactly what we did here when we rearranged this equation that represents equality of wages across two industries under the Ricardian model, which you will see shortly. Okay. I'm glad this is on video, so you have... I'm glad this is on video. Sorry about that. The screen just flipped. So you have something to look at and you have something to refer to when it comes to how to think about relative prices and how they are related to opportunity costs, right? So we saw one as a review under review C, and we just did another version right here. Okay, on that note, complete the classwork and turn it in on time so that you can get some points. Now, again, if you find yourself in the position where your classwork is incomplete, turn it in anyway. Half the points or a portion of the points is much better than 0. Okay? All right. Thank you, and I will be uploading the lecture shortly.